ตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนะมัสสามิ Today is the Rise Pagoda Day in Wat Pah Lelai, Singapore, and this event has been brought in by our former abbots, พระครูประกาศธรรมคุณ or หลวงพ่อจำนง the founder of Wat Pah Lelai, Singapore, and also in remembrance of his goodness in the propagations of Buddhism in Singapore. And at this special occasion, we'll be giving away scholarships for students and dry rations for the selected homes. We say selected homes, yeah, and selected pupils. And because our Long Po has been doing these good deeds all his life until he passed off, and what he left behind is the place what we call Wat Pah Lelai, Singapore. And to continue the goodness he left behind, we not only involved in dana, but we involved in a lot of dharma propagations, right? In terms of like what we see in Wat Pah Lelai today, right? We have courses, we have meditation course, meditation retreats, we invite speakers from overseas, and organize ordinations, bhikkhus or samanera ordinations for those who are interested, for mechi and so forth. And all these contributed to the presence of Wat Pah Lelai nowadays. Now we try our best to improve and make it a better place for Buddhists to practice. And that is the main aim of the place, right? To encourage people to uphold the goodness. And especially this Rise Pagoda days is to invite all quarters of life to involve in the participations of these good deeds. Now, as we are Buddhists, we know the Buddha emphasized in the first Barami, first perfections, Thana Barami, right? Generosity. Everybody knows generosity. So we practice generosity. And a lot of things we might sometimes forget, and we get attached to only generosity. Because the Buddha not only wants you to do dana only. The Buddha wants us, he advised us to uphold the 5 precepts for lay people. 8 precepts if you're more serious about it. 10 precepts for samanera or samaneri, and 227 precepts for the bhikkhu, and the 300 precepts for bhikkhuni. So, beside that, he even go further. Sila Samadhi, he encouraged us to cultivate our mind, to bring our mind to a state of stillness, and to contemplate what is the true natures of things, and there is anicca, impermanent, dukkha, suffering, anatta, there's no self. Now, something is very critical nowadays, because most of the people are taught, never think in your meditations. You cannot think, just stay the object. Is correct, but there should be a further sentence to be added. When you have practiced to a stage of meditations, and you can maintain calmness for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, they call calmness. It's time that we induce contemplations. Contemplate of what? Contemplation, that means to think, to contemplate the things that happen in our life, this uncertainty of our life. Now we are facing with this COVID. How are we going to deal with it? You see the frontline people, they got to crack their head 24/7. People, all the good well-wishers, people sacrifice their time to serve the community. Even though, yes, they might get paid, but their life is at stake. So we must give credit, salute to all these frontliners. And because we're in the era where information is disseminated very fast, true or not true, who knows? It's just boom, disseminated. So we're in the era of too much information. So there was a conflict of views, and that will make the people in charge very hard to do things, because too many cooks will spoil the soup. You get what I mean? Too many cooks will spoil the soup. Now I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the mind state of individuals. Everybody want their say. Everybody want their point of view to express, to be heard of. And this is what happened. Now we human beings, we are born what we call greed, the craving. Craving for what? Name, fame, money, power. Yeah, you have to say. So this is what happened. We call it vested interest. So there's a pros and a con here. So everybody, in fact, the whole world falls into this mind state, conflict of views. They don't know where to go now. They don't know what to decide. But you don't worry, even how you decide, you will die one day. You will die one day, don't worry. Because you're born, you will grow old, you will die, don't worry. Who first, who go later, that's all. So don't quarrel, please. Sometimes when I read news, because we practice meditation, we practice how to develop the mind, we see there's a conflict of views. Conflict of views undermining what we call conflict of interest. This is the whole world. This whole world is inflamed. Inflamed is burned up by human greed. But of course, as the member of the family, just like father, parents, who want the family people to be sick? No, right? They want to look after the family people. But the problem is too many cooks will spoil the soup. So you have a lot of protest here, protest there, and get out of hand, and you're making the thing worse. And yeah, you said we talk about human right, we talk about personal right. Now, if we are considerate people, we know how this thing operates. We should keep to ourselves. Why? Because human beings at this stage, after being locked down for so long, everybody is depressed. Because why? The lack of the fund, lack of the money, resources to feed the family people. So they are worried. And you keep locking down, people will go freak out, will get out of control. It's not like places where you have kampong, big piece of land, people can cultivate their own food and they don't have to care. People with big countryside, big piece of land. But people who stay in the city will be in trouble. People are worried. So there must be a certain measure. This measure must be a win-win policy for all. So it depends on where you stay. If people who got a choice, you don't have to rely on this system of society, then they can plant their own things. They stay far away, they don't care. Like last time, up in the mountain, some old people talk to me. They say, "Monk, even the whole world drop, we don't care." I say, "Why?" Because we have salt and rice, we can survive already. I say, "Wow." But if you say this thing to the people who depend on supermarket for their food, they can't think that way. They're going to think otherwise. So now how are we going to handle our mind state? Now back to the real problem now. Everybody's mind is in a very frustrated, very frustrated, don't know what to do. It's not that they don't want to work, they want to work, but condition or situation prevented them from doing so because of the spread of the disease that will cause more defects for the community at large. So they must have control. So remember, there are certain measures we must comply and we abide to the measure. Remember, people who sacrifice, we must acknowledge them. Acknowledge them in what way? Provide them with the safety measure, especially people who volunteer. Volunteer to the temple, volunteer to, certain gadget. We must provide them. No problem. So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. When things get out of hand, then we will regret. If you have this body around, you don't worry. The economy can break down. You can bring back again. Remember, there's a Chinese word, 留着青山在，不怕没柴烧. Even your house is burned down, but there's still ground that you can have your food. Even you don't have a house, we can rebuild it. But if you're without this body, finish, you're gone. So this is the supposition world. But your mind, we talk about beyond death. Your mind state, before you go, what was your mind state? These are very big question mark for everyone to reflect on. Your mind state. Are you worried Or what is your mind state now? How can you contain? How can you control? How can you practice to calm your mind so that you won't drop into a state of depression, frustration, anger? And what happens when you get angry? A good father become a bad father, Sometimes when things are good, everything okay, no problem. When things got out of hand, then got problem. Same thing. Because human beings are like that, we are under the moment we are under pressure, we are under the kind of restrictions, our mind will start to automatically start to think of so many things, worries, how this, how that. And we can't help it. We got to accept it. We got to accept that, well, this is what happened. I'm not the only one. Everybody's suffering the same fate. How to make good? How to keep yourself? Do a lot of chanting. I used to encourage a lot of people to do a lot of chanting. Morning chanting, afternoon chanting, evening chanting, before you sleep chanting. Why? Because ask you to meditate, you can't meditate. You give all sorts of reasons. This and that lah, not free lah, cannot sit lah, my leg aching lah, my back pain lah, I close my eye, my head go giddy lah. So many excuses. Then you go karaoke, go havoc can go, you never giddy. Can play mahjong the whole night, can play, never mind. Can boost, drink the whole night, no problem. I'm talking only for people who are practicing. People not practicing, nothing to do with me, their problem. Don't give excuses. It's for your own good. If you do chanting, at the very least, you're using your mouth to say the words of the Buddha, the word of the enlightened one. And if you were to look into the explanations of the chant you chant, you feel very happy after that, after you know what you are chanting of. There's a form of reflections to reflect, to bring your mind, to calm your mind. Rupang anicca, Vedana anicca, Sanya anicca, Sankhara anicca, Vijnana anicca. Rupang anatta, Vedana anatta, Sanya anatta, Sankhara anatta, Vijnana anatta. The five khandhas is impermanent. The five khandhas is no self. You reflect on this. It can really calm your mind. When you die, can you bring anything along? You can't. So there's no point to worry about so much things. Just accept the fact that what to do. Okay? First time contemplation, the mind refused to accept. Never mind. Keep on doing it. We're not forcing, we're just reminding ourselves. Keep reminding ourselves. Because we keep reminding ourselves looking for more money. That's a problem. More money, more this and more that. And then we cannot have more, but then we get frustrated. But you say, never mind, no this. But anyway, I have enough, I never go without food. So long I'm willing to do something, I never go without food. And so long, if I'm really hungry, I go to my neighbor or some, what you call that, institute, organization, they will give you food. They will give you free food. They are more than welcome to help you. If we dare to go, we willing to go, not I say no face, this and that, then just too bad. Now, we are not running down on anyone. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the truth. So if you were to do this kind of practice in your life at this time, then when time get better, you already develop a good kind of habit in yourself. You see that this body of mine, allergy to the pollens. A lot of flowers have pollens. Tak boleh tahan for this allergy. But what to do? This is the body. Just bear with it. Take antihistamine. And when it doesn't develop, it doesn't cooperate, what can you do? No, say, same thing. After we got the COVID jab, then they say that even you got COVID jab, you will still have COVID. Hey, what is that? That means the jab is, what is happening now? Right? So we don't get confused. We just say that we must know how to differentiate two things. The worldly thing, expect the law, the compliance of the law of the society, we comply. And our own spiritual upbringing. This is ourselves, our internal happiness. You got to look after this one. And you know to differentiate two things properly. Don't mix them up. Then you can live peacefully and happily. If you mix up these two things and try to reinforce everything you want, then you have problem. A lot of people don't know how to differentiate. So now I'm here to tell you, you must differentiate. Externally, law, regulation externally, okay? When you're back home with yourself, your family rules, manners, children to the father, children to the grandparents, to the teacher, all these things. We got to take the concentration. And it is very encouraging, because we human beings, we only want good human value. And that's what? Sacrifices, relinquishments, compassions, forgiveness, respect, gratitude. We must have the gratitude. Where our body comes from? Parents, immediate parents. Where our immediate parents come from? Our grandparents. Where our grandparents come from? Great-great-grandparents. And continue. Now we already have this body. How are we going to do about it? We know birth, aging, illness, and death. Who go first, who go later. If you are born, sure to go. How to make good? Back to business. How to make good? Now we're in a situation like that. How to make good? You cannot make good. How to make it less suffering for yourself? You know that you are going into a state of depression or sadness. You know. Who knows someone there that may get retrenched because of the changes of economy, the style of living has been changed. Everything go online. So people that used to work in the office, they don't have to go to work in the office. And who will rent the office space? No one. And so that fellow will have a uppercut on the cheek, and nobody rent his office. And he got to pay the rent, because rent from other people to rent to you. And this is how this thing works. So everybody is mounting on this kind of stress mentally. This is something external. Nothing beats your own body. You can lose a lot of money. The minute you lose your body, finish. If you're sick, what is the purpose of money? Nothing. You can't even eat when you're sick. Can you take the nice food? So-called 5-star, Michelin rated, all this nice food. When you're at the hospital bed, can you take the food? No. Can you spend the money? No. Can you go to the vocation you always wish for? No. When you're sick. Worse still, if you're paralyzed, you can't do. You want to do chanting, they regret. Ajahn King always tell me to do chanting. I will say, no lah, what chanting? I only want to meditate. Cannot even try to meditate. Then he regret on the sick bed. I should have learned chanting. Now, want to do a chanting, cannot. Because I no training. But never mind. Only one word, only Putto. 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 Belt the mind. Putto, just like one belt. Stay with what Putto. Instill the mindfulness. Putto. Be mindful. Putto, 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 Putto. Make the mind calm down. Make the mind instill with Putto. Right? Chanting. Everywhere you go, Putto. Bring along a Putto. The Putto will protect you. What protect you? Your mindfulness will protect you. Putto. Then you'll be safe. Anything happen, no problem. You have Putto. You have mindfulness intact. So you know you can decide. Because why? When you have Putto, that means you have mindfulness. When you have mindfulness, anything that happen, your mind is clear and calm. Very steady. You can make the correct decision. So that you don't commit silly mistake. If you don't have Putto, then a bit of distraction. You can't continue what you're doing straight away. Your mind distracted straight away. But if your mind is trained, very concentrated, very stabilized, whatever you intend to do, you never lose track. Bang, will be there. Keep focus. Focus there. And that is training. You need to train. Human mind can be trained because human mind is very sophisticated. It can be trained. A lot of things 50 years ago, we never see. Now we see. It has been proven. A lot of things we don't believe it will happen. It happened now. The day I talk to people, I said, now I talk to my friends. I say we are living like in the realms of Deva. We read of Deva, Nimarati, Deva Satamanasa Vesung. The Deva who can project Nimitta, visions. Can we do that? Yes! Video call. Overseas. Nowadays. Real or not real? Can we deny? We cannot deny. This is real or not real. What time rain? Oh, very true. How many everything. Thing has been developed to replace, to be proven. Now, you don't underestimate. Then you will say that, then what for I meditate? After we have all these things, can we find a gadget? Yeah. But the Buddha said, calm the mind. Can you calm the mind? No? You can't, right? You can't. When you die, can you bring the gadget along? You can't. This is only a tool. A tool. So you must make use of the tool, like what we have nowadays, to listen to the Dharma talk. Practice what you have listened. Walk the way of a good human being should behave. Then you can make yourself a better human being. You can make yourself this place, regardless of the religious background, a human heavenly realms, your mind state. If we can practice in this kind of mind state, then we won't have problems. The problem with human being nowadays, because there's a conflict of views. And the worst thing is when politics is involved, these greedy people, they will make use of politics and use of religions in the politics. And that's the worst. This is why a lot of killing. It's not the religion. It's the politician who cause all these things. You don't believe me, I kill you. No, cannot. In Buddhism, first precept, no killing. So we don't kill. Have compassion. You see what the Buddha said? Have compassion on other beings. Because all living beings got different backgrounds. You must have the due respect. And if these greedy people was in power, make use of religion for their own agenda, they will create a device, only more divided society in the country. Not a harmonic society, divided, where people have hatred against each other. And this is what is happening nowadays around the world. Why? Because we have bad people, many in the country, greedy people. But we have good people, people who are compassionate, who know good human value, the value, the existence of human, how to make mankind, regardless of your race, of your color, of language, treat them like a human being. Can we do that? A lot of people, they can't do that. They can't do that because based on our assumptions, because we human beings like that, we take side. This is the nature of human being, the nature, the greed, hatred, delusion, intellect. But if we want to practice, then we see, we take the good moral value as our guideline, then no problem. The problem is they don't take the moral value. They take what value? Vested interest value. How to take advantage of you, how to sabo you. And this is what happened. Regardless of their color, regardless of their race, human beings are attacking each other. You see, in the newspaper, father and son can kill each other because of what? Money. Look, I don't mention the country, but it's in the newspaper. The son killed the father, and the money belonged to the father. Just because the father favor another son, he split the money, not so fairly, but his money. And then the other son killed him. You see or not? Even father and son, blood. The son comes from the father. So we say that, oh, this is karma, right? This is really karma. In Buddhism, we say that in his past life, this father must have committed this kind of karma to the son. And this lifetime, the son did it back to the father. You cannot believe me, but there's always the law of karma, which is you cannot be explained by what you think. A lot of people, especially a lot of educated people, they try to put this thing to karma to cover everything, and they cannot explain. This is what happened. We have conflict of views, and they want their view to be imposed, to be in the mainstream. And what kind of view is that? Full of pride, full of ego, full of wrong view, deceit, no purity at all. What is right? Right of what? We want to have the right to practice the Dharma. If you're full of deceit, then you cannot practice. But nowadays, harder to practice because human beings, they have so much knowledge. They thought they know everything. We ask them to let go, they cannot let go. They linger on. So I used to teach people, I say, I want these people, so-called so smart, I want to see them the deathbed. When they go to die that time, then I will see them all the while. So good. All the while, when you have cancer that time, when the doctor tell you you have only this lifetime to go, then you see panic, don't know what to do, scared. Because why? All this aversion that these people have accumulated in themselves over the year, making nasty remarks, talking bad about people, will come back to them and torture them. And the mind is not trained, mind you, where that individual will go. You know deep inside the heart. I saw people do a lot of dana in their life, but because of the strong attachments, their strong attachment to what? To certain things. After they die, you know where are they? They become a beta, a ghost, with all the goodness they have done. A ghost. And then you say that, then what for we do goodness? You do goodness. Do ready. We don't attach. We don't keep talking about how good we are all the time. No. We do it. Okay, that's it. Just know that you have do goodness in your life. And this is very important. Because if we don't have this kind of thing in ourselves, then we're going to have problems, right? As we practice along, we're going to have problems. We have problems because why? We have a wrong view in ourselves. So we must remember, the Buddha's teaching. Remember at heart. Even though some people say, I'm not so devoted Buddhist. I just, sometimes weekend Buddhist, weekend I go temple. Weekday I'm like a human being on earth, like anybody else. But your daily life, how are you going to conduct yourself is very important. We keep on telling ourselves we need peace and happiness in our life. But when the Buddha said, okay, you want peace and happiness, you must observe the precept. You must do chanting, you must do goodness, you must be compassionate, you must be forgiving. Don't hold hatred in your heart. It's very torturing, right? Forgive people who have done wrong to you, because no one are perfect. Will you also ever done wrong to other people? Why not we forgive them? Then if we can have this kind of mind state, then okay, no problem. But if we say, no, I'm not going to forgive him or her, who suffer? You are the one suffering. Every time this thought arises in you, you get very angry. Every time the sound or the person you hear, you get very angry. Or someone talk about this person, you get very angry. Already no more. We always look the goodness the individual has contributed, have done to us, have helped us. Even though nothing, we might be mistreated by certain individual. We say, oh, never mind, we forgive them. I pay up time. You just say, I pay up my debts. Our debts, we owe them. And if you know how to use your mind, know how to contemplate properly, bring every nasty situation to your advantage, then you will profit. I use the word profit. You will gain from the experience in your life as a teaching experience, as a tool to uphold yourself, upgrade yourself mentally. Then we say that you are wise enough to stay in the society. You won't be kicked around or provoked by other people's speech, other people's intentions. We know. We read at other people's intention. Why these people say this? Why this monk talk like that? Why? Does he mean good to us, or is he instigating us or doing any bad thing? No. We are telling you to forgive, to accept the truth. Someone died, okay, we accept it. Or someone died, what to do? I also will die. One day I will die also. Everybody will die because we are born. Birth, aging, illness, and death. That's the truth, universal truth. No one can deny. It's just that how are we going to die? We will die honoredly, respectfully. When we die, people talk good about you. Or when you die, people curse and swear. You should have died long ago. Normally it's like that. When we hate someone, when the person we hurt, he die or he sick, that should be the way. So don't do that. It's, pitiful. May he be well, and may he or may she be very happy. Very pitiful. Because why? If you don't start to train yourself, you always let this unwholesome thought harbor in your mind. Then you will keep harboring more and more hatred. Then you find yourself less and less friends want to come and be your friend. Because why? You always get angry who want to be your friend. The minute you talk to you, then you get angry. So what happens is like a rocket, like a fireball, like that cannot talk. So people was distant from you. Every time you talk, then you scold people. People also don't want to talk. But if you are kind, you're okay, very easy to approach, then people would like to talk to you. They want to confide with you the problem. Then you can help people. So that should be the way. No, we human beings are like that. Like I always say, no one is perfect. We make mistakes. It's just that we correct ourselves from our mistake. Because why? We are from all around the world, different culture, different background, everything different. Then we expect other people to think like us, to behave like us. Impossible. But instead we say that, okay, what was these people's intention? What was their thinking? What was their way of doing things? Then if we have good human values, you don't worry. You go around the whole world, any part of the world. If you're a person very hardworking, very honest, very hardworking, very forgiving, a lot of sacrifice, very helpful, very down to earth, speak the truth. You don't worry. The truthfulness, your action will bless you. Will bless you because why? People see your action, people see the way you behave. People say that this guy is a good person. This guy is very honored. This guy is very hardworking. This guy is very, forgiving. Even people do bad thing to him, he never complain. He also forgive him. Oh, these are the good people we want to know. Very helpful, very generous. But on the other hand, we meet a person, everything also one only, never give. Very selfish, very calculative, everything also calculate, not forgiving, a bit of thing, very angry, every time talk about bad thing, talk about bad people. They say, hey, this fellow is not nice to mix around. Then he got no friend. Then we should change. We forgive him. We always forgive, remember, always forgive. For people to change. You look at Angulimala. He killed, because of the teacher, wrong instruction. He killed people for the finger. 99 left 100. So he said, where? Nobody want. Oh, my mother have one finger. Want to take your mother. Lucky! Our Lord Buddha detected you beforehand, stop him. If not, he will go down to hell. But because of his killing and hurting of so many people, even though he had ordained as a monk, he was stoned by the people, by the relative of the people he killed. They got so angry with him, but because lucky he got his yellow robe, they never killed him. They just stone him only, scold him and stone him, whack him. But he go through the pain. He said, this is my karma. And he attained Arahant, you see. So remember, we are not that bad, right? We are not that Angulimala so bad. So we have to change ourselves. Now, everything is COVID. So everybody may also COVID, whole night also COVID. Cannot do this, cannot do that. Everybody got frustrated. So we got more time. Remember, okay? Today is the Rice Pagoda Day. It's a good occasion. So we wish that with this kind of occasion, Rice Pagoda Day, it will benefit people. And people will listen to the talk. We have some guideline for their life. Even a bit also good. If just one person benefited, I'm happy. We are not here to give some advice. We're not here to teach anyone, but to advise people what is good and what is bad. That's all. We're not in a position to teach. But people who will correct themselves is the people who think, this is a good advice. Okay, I will try and see. Do accordingly. Do my chanting, morning chanting, evening chanting, spread thoughts of goodwill, wishing well for oneself, wishing well for other people, have gratitude to our parents, our mother, father, our brothers, those people who have done us good things to us in our life. We always think of them, gratitude, how to repay them, how to help them back when they're in trouble. These are the things we must think as a human being, because this is the quality of a human being, how to help, how to be compassionate. And when you have this kind of people, more and more people who bear this kind of good thoughts, then the whole place will be peaceful. But the place that is carrying guns, shooting each other, will be full of blood. It's suffering. We human beings suffer enough already. We don't need this one. But people who fight for politics, they will fight for this one. When the Buddha talk about freedom, it's a freedom of greed, hatred, delusion inside our mind, not external thing. No. Remember, we want this thing to be planted in our mind for our own welfare and happiness. If we cannot maintain this kind of welfare and happiness in ourselves, then we cannot. Where to find welfare and happiness externally? We can't. It's only keep quarreling. Like what we see in the whole world now. It's very, very damaging. And what to do? This is the karma of the world. We call it collective karma altogether. We got to go through this process. Even going through this process, some people, no problem. Some people, lot of problems. But let the problem just be that individual problem. Because to each their own karma. I think I will end my talk here, right? And during my talk, my speech, should there in my talk offended anyone, I ask for your forgiveness and apologize that I have offended you. I got no intention. When we give a speech, knowledge form is we don't plan. We don't plan for a speech. We just, today is Rice Pagoda Day. And of course, we base on the principle of Buddhism. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Do good, avoid evil, purify your mind. So blessing now. Sapparo gavinimuto sappasanta bhavachito sappaveramati kanto nibuddho jatuvan Bhavasabhitiyo vivajantu saparogo vinasatu mate bhava Vantarayo sukhiti kayugo bhava bivadana siri sani changuta pachayino jataro dhamma Vantanti ayuvanno sukha